Hello, my name is Starla Henderson with Brunner House Quilts blog, and this is today we are going to continue to work on our bunny. Last time I was thinking we'd do the eye next, but I think we're going to go ahead and do this outline stitching that's all around the bunny, because the outline stitching is also used on the eye, and that way we'll just progress that way. But as you can see, last time we did this little indentation right here. And this outline stitch goes all the way around the outside of the bunny, and it goes into in places to make out the detail that's on the bunny. And so today I'm going to show you how to do this stitch, but you're going to do it all the way around the whole outside of the rabbit, including the tail. And in fact, you're going to go across this and then around the tail. It helps to, let me get you back in line here. You're going to go across this and around the tail. It helps to show a difference here in this. And you're going to keep going, and then you're going to do these little lines that are inside that help to make the bunny have more dimension. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do this stitch. And we're going to start back where we were working the last time. I'm going to show you how to make this stitch, and we're going to go down into this, but instead of going up around, I'm going to show you we're going to go all the way in this curve, because you want this to look like a whole thing. So whenever you've got you're going to follow the pattern. Like with this, you're going to go up and around the point, and you're going to stop here. And even if you have to knot off, you're going to go back down here, start back up, and come up and all the way around. Today, for filming purposes, though, I'm going to start right here just to go. And I'm using black thread. You want something that's going to complement what you're doing, and I had a little brown bunny in this, so I used brown thread. But I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, so I'm using black. Alright, you're going to come up right next to your piece. And this is a very easy stitch, and I've shown it to you before. I think it's called an outline stitch. Some people might call it a stem stitch. I'm not sure which. But you're going to, I always hold my thread back and down. You always want to do that in the same direction. Otherwise, it's not going to look right. And with this stitch, you're just going to take little tiny bites, probably not even 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to go, actually your first one's going to be a little bit longer, and you're not going to go quite to your beginning, and you're going to take a stitch. Okay, now from this point on, I'm going to probably go, it's about as far away as whenever I actually applique, which isn't even 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to take a tiny stitch, and then I'm going to come up right in front of where that last stitch, where I went down in the last stitch. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way down. And that's all there is to this stitch. Is you're going to go down just a little ways and back up where you started the last one, just before it. And you're going to keep doing this. As you can see, and I always pull my thread back down. If you don't pull it down, you pull it up. Just make sure you're consistent with what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to keep going. And because this ear is going into the little face, this line is to make this ear, like I was saying before, I'm going to go all the way down into it. I'm not going to make this little curve here yet. Just like this. Now, I've already marked this. I back basted these because that's just the best way to get your lines where you want them, where they're already drawn. So pull out my threads, and I've already marked it with a fabric pencil. I use the sew line pencils pretty much all of the time. They go away. Always test whatever you're marking with, though, because you never know. There might be that one fabric that does not erase, it won't erase off up. And don't use heat after you mark something unless the instructions tell you to. Okay. Now I'm going into the actual rabbit, as you can see. I'll just keep right on going. Like this. And I would go, I'm going to do some stopping and starting here, but you're going to follow this line with this stitch all the way to where it stops being drawn. Okay? So you're just going to keep right on going to the end of that. I'm a little clumsy today. Okay. Now, this last stitch, because I'm not going to be coming back up, I'm just going to go straight down, like this, pull it all the way through, and there you have that. And normally you would be going all the way up here, but see, it goes all the way in. Now, I would knot off, I'd go back in here and knot off, and the way I do that is if I have fabric that's going to hide it, I just make a tiny knot in the fabric like I always do. Make sure, see, came through. Sometimes that happens with these bigger needles. So I think, for me, I'm going to go into this stitch, back up a little bit, and just take a teeny tiny bite of the background. Make sure I'm not going through. And it's knotted both in the stitch and just a little bit in the fabric. So, pull that tight. Okay. Now, I'll start another place. This is really too long for me to just travel up here. Sometimes I can do that, but I don't like to when it's, you know, an inch or longer, because it might loosen your stitches in here. Okay, now, because you want this to flow a certain way, this is going all in, because that's one piece, one continuous line, and you want to, wherever there's a continuous line, to keep that line continuous. So I'm going to start back again right here in this little valley that we did last time. Remember I said you were going to do that, and it will, if you have trouble with your turning, it will kind of hide it. This is a good beginner project for that. And so I went back in there, and I just continue like I was doing before, all the way around. And you're just going to continue going all the way around your bunny this way, going in to these little places, the little mouth, the little ears, little haunches, the feet. You will just, like I said, keep that continuous line going. But that's the stem stitch or the outline stitch, and that's how I did it on this rabbit. Now the next time when I come back, the eye has an outline stitch around the whole thing. I will go ahead and make that, and then I will show you how to do the satin stitch for to make the little eyeball, little pupil. So this is Starla Henderson with Fronter House Quilts blog, and I have shown you the outline stitch for our bunny. Thank you for joining me.